What's that transition like from getting the single year sponsorship to getting the multi-year sponsorship?
Mm-hmm.
Because we all try to get to that space where it's not just a commitment for 1 year.
Yep.
Our brand, our audience has now seen you. They're familiar with you. What happens next?
Yeah.
How do you follow up and create those relationships?
I think it's a conversation with the person at the brand, and saying, hey, we really want like a real commitment. And, we appreciate your 1 year commitment, but like, let's lock this in for 3 years. Because it also works for the brand. It also guarantees that, you're not partnering with one bank this year and then another bank the next year. Like, there needs to be some consistency. It's not a good look to me for the brand, for you guys to open yourselves up to competition coming in. So I think having that conversation with the brand is like, having like saying that, like, I want to make sure that you're secured so that we don't have to go out to your competition. Also, I want to make sure that like there's consistency in our messaging going out and we can see year over year how we're doing. Brands are open to that.
So, who's some of the biggest brands that you've worked with, like on a consistent basis?
Some of the biggest brands we work with on a consistent basis is Nike. We worked with them for the last 5 years. They've sponsored our designer retreat that we host in New York City at their corporate offices every year. We've also worked with LVMH now. I think we're going on we have a 3-year partnership with Tiffany and Company for some HBCU work. The Virgil Abloh Award, they're committed to that year over year. We've also worked with Macy's for a number of years now on several different projects. Probably they're like our longest standing partner. We probably work with them for maybe 8 years now. We're building out a solid partnership with Nordstrom now as well that we're really excited about. Some really cool things coming down the pipeline there. Trying to think of who else. We're working with Saks Fifth Avenue. We worked with them for a few years now as well. So several retail brands.
And so that's the lifeline of the business, is the corporate relationships.
Yes. Yep.
So have you seen the impact, like post George Floyd, of companies that's like reneging from or cutting back money?
I mean, we're all seeing like 3 years in. I think we all knew that it wasn't gonna last, right? But what I can say is I think companies are streamlining the amount of like partners that they have. And thank goodness, like HFR is one of those partners that they're like, we're going to continue with. But yeah, they're definitely pulling back. There has been, especially the luxury brands in particular. The luxury brands in particular, like they came out hard in 2020 and they've been really soft over the last 2 years.
Yeah, that's been pretty consistent.
Yeah, is same in your industry?
Similar.
Yeah,
very similar. But I'm asking these questions because we're seeing these things.
Yeah.
Right? So it's interesting to hear from your perspective, and obviously a different industry, but similar scenarios.
Yeah, but you guys have like such a great audience. Like,
appreciate
they
that.
should be like knocking your door down.
That's what we say.
They should be knocking your door down. Like if I had an opportunity to come to Atlanta and talk to, what is it, 20,000 people?
It's a fact.
That's a fact. Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Like it's a no-brainer to me.
Can we clip that up? Let's talk about fashion and color. Because I think just the title alone is incredible, but what it represents is being seen.
Yeah.
So talk about that, because I mean, again, it's an incredible piece.
So when people think about our contribution to fashion, they don't really know like the fact that like Jay Jackson was the first American couturier in Paris. People don't know that was a Black man. He worked with Christian Dior. He worked with, I believe it's Yves Saint Laurent as well. They don't really know that right now, this year, we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Ballet Versailles, which was this competition between like French and American designers. And Stephen Burrows was the only Black designer a part of that. People don't even know who Stephen Burrows is. Our history in fashion hasn't been captured in a book since 1982. In 1982, a woman, Lois Alexander Lane, wrote a book called Blacks in the History of Fashion. You can't buy the book because I bought all of them. There were only like 10 on the market. I bought them all because I want to make sure they were in safekeeping. But you know, we don't really have our history preserved in fashion. And so I kept saying, we need a book, like, so that 50 years from now, 75 years from now, it's like registered with the Library of Congress. We can always have our history captured. People can always like look in this book. So this is actually volume 1 of Fashion in Color. And so it's Black designers A to Z.
Was it like a lookbook?
Open it up.
Yeah.
Open it up.
So
check it out.
this is volume 1. What years does it span to, or is it up to current day?
So this is actually current designers.
Okay.
So it's actually
Autograph. Thank you.
you're welcome. So this one was actually dedicated to the 50th anniversary of hip hop.
Yes.
We gave 5 mics. You guys know about the source. We gave 5
you
mics to
talking
Dapper
about
Dan and Misa Hilton.
Absolutely.
And then there's a Black artist. Her name is Ashley Buttercup. She actually painted. These are all
So it's
original
like
paintings.
every
Every letter, there's a designer for every single letter from A to Z. Olivier Rusting from Balmain wrote the foreword to the book.
Okay.
And so it's a coffee table book. It's a reference book. If you look in there, you'll see that there's a QR code. So the QR code takes you directly. There's Fee Noel, your wife's favorite designer.
That's going on the coffee table. That page right there is going on the coffee table.
shown to this.
Listen. Is my camera tied? I'm zooming on this. Listen, Fee Noel, I appreciate all the garments that
lift
does it up higher? Cover my whole face. I don't care. Listen, everything that you contributed to my household, I want to personally thank you. I want to personally thank you for making my wife feel happy in your clothes. And every time she wears it somewhere, people stop her to ask where she got it from. So I just wanted to thank you. And you're being, this is like, you're immortalized, right? Like you're inside of this historical document. So
Absolutely.
shout out to you.
But people can like scan the QR code and it takes them to the designer's Instagram page.
Incredible.
So they can actually shop as
Straight
well.
through the book.
Straight through the book.
That's
through the whole book.
technology at its finest. So what's your favorite time period of fashion?
Oh man, I think the 90s. I love the 90s. I love the 90s because we had so many Black brands out then. There was, the FUBU, there was a Nietzsche, there was Sean John, there was like, man, if we could replicate that right
That's
now.
on rock.
We spoke about this to Dapper Dan, and he was saying that there's never been Black luxury designers, but I forgot that there actually is one that people overlook. Christian Louboutin. He's Black.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
The Black man.
Did you know that?
telling me something I didn't know.
So he was at he's a Black man.
Okay.
That's first, but he actually came to Saks Fifth Avenue.
Oh, wow.
So my mom worked for Saks Fifth Avenue for 30 years, and then my wife ended up working there.
Okay.
He when they turned the 7th floor into the shoe level at Saks Fifth Avenue,
They didn't know who he was, though, right?
they didn't know. She didn't know.
Wow.
I'm like, no, that's him.
Wow.
He came in to open the store.
You kind of favor each other almost. He could be your dad.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
We shop with him a lot.
Dang. All right.
Y'all know my pants.
Now I
It's
can
a
feel
struggle,
better
man.
about my Louboutins.
Exactly. Support Black business.
Yeah. Little known fact.
I love that. I was at an event. It was like a footwear event, and Idris presented the award to him, and they had like a really dope relationship. But now I know. All right.
Who knows?
Y'all put me on.
Might be at
I appreciate that.
Old Fashioned Road next year.